This video is going to be about Ideate Software, which is a powerful plugin for Revit. I'm going to be showing you Ideate Explorer that is going to make managing large, complex Revit projects easy. We're going to be locating specific items in the project, creating custom filters, locating and resolving warnings and clashes, and I'm going to be showing you a few additional tools in the Ideate bundle, like the Ideate Renumber, which automates the process of element renumbering, and Ideate Smart Delete, which allows you to safely delete items that are hosting additional elements. Let's go. As I said, this video is about Ideate Software, which offers 6 products that work together on reducing time spent and errors created on BIM projects. But for this video, we will be focusing mostly on Ideate Explorer. The main concept behind Ideate Software is offering maximum customization for each tool and process. Every building is different and every project is different. This is why having maximum customization with each tool is so important. For example, by implementing Ideate Software in their process, ZGF architects managed to compress a typical 5-year design process in just 34 months. This is the potential, and now I'm going to be showing you the step-by-step process so you can see it in action. To follow along, you can get the Ideate Software plugin by clicking on the link up in the cards above and also down in the description of this video. And full disclosure, this is a sponsored video. Now, let's jump straight into Revit. And here we are in Revit. So now I'm just going to go here to Ideate Software. So when you install Ideate, it's going to appear like this as a separate tab in Revit. Then I'm going to open up Explorer. And as you can see, this is for Revit 2026. Obviously, I'm using Revit 2026, and Ideate will support the current version of Revit as well as 3 prior versions. So at the moment, that's Revit 2023 all the way up to the latest version, Revit 2026. Now, when you open up Ideate Explorer, here you can set up the display first. So currently that's set to entire model, but we can go to active view or even current selection. When it comes to sorting, we have multiple options like category, level, phase, room, and so on. I'm just going to keep it at category. Then for filter, you can see we have some filters available over here. However, this is highly customizable. I'm just going to keep it set to none for now, but later on in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a custom filter and then how to apply it and use it with Ideate Explorer. Moving forward, down here on the Explore tab, we now have everything kind of listed in this tree where we can pretty much see everything that we have in this current model. Now, please keep in mind that Ideate Explorer does not handle annotations. However, there is Ideate Annotate that can be used to review annotation issues like annotation clashes, blank and duplicate tags, zero length dimensions, etc. It's like Explorer, but for annotations. Okay, so coming back here, let's explore in the Explore tab, and I can search here by category, for example, and then I can say, okay, let's see what we have when it comes to Windows. So I'm just going to check on Windows and then explore that, all of the categories that we have, or this is the category, these are all of the families that we have here, and then here we have all of the instances. So that's how the kind of the structure goes. Now you can notice that when we select a category or an instance or a family, it is going to highlight here in the model so you can see where that actually is. You can even double click on these and it's just going to basically zoom to different windows that you have selected, which is quite cool. So that's basically how this works. Now you can go here to the launch query option, and here I can browse items according to some of their properties. So for example, if I go to the search bar here and search for width, and then I can find that parameter over here. Then I can go to the values and then I can refine this by value. So for example, I can type in 3. So here I have these 3 foot 3 inch windows. I can check those on and then I can click on select. So now it's going to refine that selection and it's going to display these windows. Here we can see their instances. Now, once they're selected, they are selected also in Revit, of course. So I can go here, I can perhaps change that for another type. I can go to edit type to perhaps change some of the parameters if I want. I can change the instance parameters over here in the properties panel, and so on. So it's a very good way to refine the list, find exactly what you're looking for, and then manage it however you need. We can also create a quick table. So if I just jump over here and click on View Element Details, it's going to open up this view where we can see all of the details, and it's in this very useful table where we have columns for category, family, type, name, workset level, room, space, phase, and so on and so forth. Now this can be exported to Excel for easy reporting. Now I'm just going to close this down and let me show you also the section box option. Now in this case we don't really need it for windows because, well, they're on the outside, so kind of doesn't make too much sense. So I'm just going to go back to the entire project and let's try something that's a little less visible than windows, which, as we said, are on the outside. So I'm going to expand doors, and then let's find some of the smaller doors, for example. So let's go with these passenger single flush doors, and let's go with some of the smaller ones like this. So let's say, for example, I want to find this door. I want to see it. Well, for that I can use a section box. So I can just click on selected elements and it's going to display basically inside of a section box. So I can now see that this door and I can see kind of what's going on with it. And it's a great way of kind of looking into the model quickly and easily. And it's a section box, so you're not really isolating it. You can see the items around it. You can see how it's interacting with all of the other elements in its surrounding. So that's good. Now I'm just going to go back here to entire project, deselect this. Let's kind of reset the section box as well, just like so. There we go. Now I'm just going to collapse these doors because I don't need them anymore, and let's explore another category, which is going to be CAD imports. So if I expand the CAD imports, we can see here the count of how many we have, and then here I can see each one. Now, of course, this is something that's a little bit difficult to locate at the moment, but for example, for this one, I see that we have two instances or two items. So I'm just going to, let's select that and let's double click to view this one. And you can see, because it's not available here in the 3D view, it's going to open up a view where it is visible, and then I can see it. Then we have this one, which I'm just going to double click, and here we have a pop-up that says this element is hidden in view, and would you like to use or temporarily show hidden elements to view that item, which is really good. I'm just going to say yes. So it's basically telling us this was hidden, but we can temporarily view it with this option here in order to locate it. And as you can see, it's over here. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see it's pretty far away. It looks kind of out of place, and I think this is a mistake. And let's say I want to delete this particular item. So I'm just going to select this item, and then I'm going to go here to delete. It's going to open up the Explorer delete window. Here it's going to show a count. So Ideate confirms how many instances are deleted in this window as well, so you can be sure that nothing unexpected would be deleted. And there we go. This was now deleted. And I can just go back to the 3D view. And after that, let's actually navigate to another view. So I'm going to look for ceiling plans here. Here they are, and I'm going to open up the level 2 ceiling plan, just like so. Let's navigate like that. And now let's take a look at some of these ceiling fixtures. Now I'm particularly interested in ceiling fixtures that have a flipped work plane. So we can kind of try to search them in the Explorer, which is kind of one of the ways to approach it, but another way is through a filter. Now I currently don't have a filter for this, so I'm going to create a new custom filter for that. So you want to go here to this settings menu and then go to manage rules. and that's going to open up filter rules. And here we can see all of the available filters. However, I want to create a new one, so I'm just going to click here on this MC in place filter. I'm going to duplicate that, so it's going to create this copy. I'm just going to select that and click here on the edit rule button, and that's going to open up the edit filter rule. Now here we can rename this, so I'm just going to rename that to lighting fixtures flipped work planes. And then for the description, I'm just going to write the lighting fixtures with flipped work planes. Okay, so next we need to check the categories here. So I'm just going to hide unchecked, and then I'm just going to actually uncheck everything and then just search for lighting fixtures. There we go, lighting fixtures, and I'm just going to check that. Then for the property filters, I'm going to search here for the filter. Now currently it says is in place. I don't want that. I want to go to other properties. So let's see, let's search for flipped. Okay, is work plane flipped? So I can just search for that. Click OK. Condition, I'm going to set that to is true. And there we go. We have created this filter, so I can just make sure, okay, so the phase is all phases, phase filter is none, that's okay. Hit save and close, okay. And this is the result. So here we have the lighting fixtures, and we can see that in total, this is how many we have. Then we have two types, and here are all of the instances. So I can just double click on all of them to open them up. I can see the other type here and just kind of continue double clicking if I want to zoom in into any specific one that we have in this model. Now let's go back to our 3D view. Here we go. And here what I'm going to do is now switch to the Navigate tab. So obviously we can go through the project through our project browser. However, the Navigate tab is going to make that a lot more efficient. So here we can see we have our legends, so we can navigate through all of those. Here we have the schedules, and we can just expand each one to see how much is in each category. Now here you can see the Ideate sticky schedules. So Excel, Word, and PDF documents can be brought in using Ideate sticky. So basically, this is where we have all of the views. Here we have the sheets, so on and so forth. So you can kind of search for each one of those. When you click on them, you can see down here, it's going to open up some basic information about each one of those. And then the third tab over here is warnings. Now there is a warnings kind of tool in Revit. So if I go here to the Manage tab and then open up warnings, this is what that's going to look like. So here we have all of the warnings, and then we can kind of navigate through those warnings. Now warnings in the Explorer reflect the warnings that you can see here in the Warning Manager, and the count is dynamic and updated as soon as the number of warnings changes in Revit. Now inside of Revit's warning tool, there are some limitations. So in this window, it cannot basically interact with the model while reviewing the warnings. Warnings are not prioritized in any way. You cannot dismiss warnings, and you cannot create selections or section boxes around elements that are the kind of in question when it comes to these warnings. So I'm just going to close this up, and then let's explore the warnings in the Ideate Explorer. We can read here through warnings. We can see that we have different types of priorities, and let's open up the first one. So we can see this warning says that highlighted floors have been kind of overlapped or are overlapping, and we have a couple of elements there. So we have this concrete slab and we have this floor. Now if I just hold the Control key and select both of these, what I can do is I can use the section box in order to highlight those. So let's go with the just selected elements like that. Actually, instead of that, let's isolate these elements. I think it's going to be a bit easier to see. There we go. So now we can see here's that overlap, and what I can do, I can just select this floor, go to Edit Boundary, and then I can perhaps use the Align tool to align it like so. There we go. And yeah, that should be it. Finish. I'm not going to attach anything. Okay, nope. And as you can see now, this warning has been resolved. So in real time, as the warning was fixed, we have basically gotten the result that we were looking for reflected here in the warnings. You can continue looking through these, and here you can see all of the additional warnings that we have and so on. Now, it's just good to mention that identical elements in the Explorer Warnings Manager are listed in the order of creation. So the first one listed was created prior to other elements listed below it. This is great for easy review during QA and QC. And now I'm just going to close out of here. Now, when it comes to basically how Ideate Explorer is looking at these warnings, this is also, like pretty much the rest of things that we can do in Ideate Explorer, it's highly customizable. So I can go here to the settings menu, and then I can go to manage warnings. It's going to look like this, so I can just expand it a little bit. So here we can see each warning category and each type. So here it says basically what the warning is, and then here we have the rank. This is each possible warning that we can have in Revit. And of course, you can customize this. So for example, if you're not happy with a certain rank, you can right click here and then perhaps set it to low if you want. And now, as you can see, it's just going to change that. Now for all of this, you can save the changes, and then you can even export and then share it with your colleagues. And this is a good time to mention that you can use Ideate Explorer with Ideate Automation for health check reporting. Now I'm just going to cancel out of this menu, and I'm not going to be saving this particular change. And that's going to conclude the part on warnings. And we have seen the navigation as well as explore, so it's a really great way to explore your model entirely. Now we're going to be talking about another tool called Renumber. It's located over here, and I'm just going to start that up, and it does exactly how it sounds. It renumbers elements. So in Revit, you're often going to be renumbering stuff like rooms in this example, and that can take a lot of time, especially if you have a lot of rooms. So in order to make this process a lot quicker, we're going to be using the Renumber, the Ideate Renumber tool. So here for the rule, let's search for rooms. Here we go. Then we need to assign basically a rule for renumbering them. So the level prefix is going to be 3 underscore, and then for the start increment, we're just going to go with 0, 0. Now the first method of applying this change is the selection method, or the select elements. So I'm just going to start numbering, then you come to a room, you click on the room, and it's going to renumber it. You do the same for the other one, and another one, and so on and so forth. So it's just going to follow those rules which you have assigned. So this is really good, but it can be quicker. So I'm just going to hit the escape key once, and then let's try this different method, which is create a path. And I'm just going to pick the method for selecting the path with vertices. So I'm just going to start numbering again, and here we're just drawing a path. So I'm just going to click, extend this path to the other side, go up to here, go to here, and then end up here. And I'm just going to hit the escape key once. So it's going to use that path in order to assign new numbers for these rooms. Here it will show us those changes. We can reverse any of them if we're not happy with the changes being made. In this case, I'm happy with all of them, so I'm just going to accept the changes. And that's how we can quickly and easily renumber rooms in Revit. Finally, I want to talk about another smart tool called, well, Ideate Smart Delete. So whenever you have elements in Revit, they might be hosting something. So for example, a level is going to host a lot of additional elements with it. So if you delete this level, that's going to delete all of the elements which are hosted on that level. And it can be the same with numerous other elements in Revit. So in order to make sure that you don't accidentally delete something that you don't want to delete just because it was hosted on something else, you can use the Smart Delete. So here I'm just going to select this level, then go to Ideate Software, and then click on Smart Delete. it's going to open up a menu, and here we can see what we have selected. And here in this window, we can see what else will be deleted as part of deleting this level in this case. So as you can see, it's quite a long list of items. So you can see that all of this will be gone if we delete this level, for example. So it's a very smart way to know exactly what will be deleted along with the main item you're trying to delete. And we're going to be concluding this video here. I hope you have enjoyed it. We're just scratching the surface of what Ideate Software has to offer. So please tell me in the comment section below, would you like to learn more about this software, and would you like to see more tutorials on Ideate Software on balkanarchitect.com. Again, as I said, if you want to try it out for yourself, the link will be available up in the cards above and also down in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com, for more Revit courses. There I have over 120 hours of content, and I'm adding more each week. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and also I've added a video over there that might interest you as well.